The world of cinema mourns as Robert Redford, a Hollywood legend, passes away at 89. On September 16, 2025, in his Utah home, the man who defined an era quietly left us, leaving an immense void for family and fans alike. For over 6 decades, Redford was more than an actor. He was a transformative force. An Oscar winner for Ordinary People, founder of the Sundance Film Festival, and a timeless icon, he brought unforgettable performances and inspired generations with his elegance and vision. But behind the fame was a life marked by deep pain. The loss of his firstborn son and personal tragedies left scars no success could heal. Redford carried his suffering with grace, turning it into art that touched hearts worldwide. This isn't just the death of a star, it's the end of an era. His voice, once thunderous against injustice and full of love and resilience, now falls silent. Born in 1936, Redford battled polio as a child, enduring paralysis and fear. His mother's unwavering care taught him resilience. As a troubled teen, he nearly lost his way, but was saved by his father's guidance and a passion for sports and art. Tragedy struck again in 1955 when his mother died after surgery, plunging him into a silence that followed him through adulthood. A lost college scholarship and struggles with drinking tested him further, but he chose exile over defeat, traveling Europe and finding peace in art and solitude. Returning to New York, Redford embraced painting and acting, determined to transform his pain into purpose. At 22, he entered the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, setting the stage for the legendary career that would follow. Acting was no instant triumph for Redford, just a tough climb. At 24, he scraped by on small TV roles in The Twilight Zone, Maverick, and Perry Mason, barely earning enough to pay rent. Yet every line he delivered was proof he hadn't given up. Ironically, his looks, golden hair, and flawless features were both his blessing and his curse. Casting directors dismissed him as too pretty for serious roles, trapping him in a gilded cage. "You're inside, but no one thinks you belong," he later admitted. Then, in 1963, Broadway changed everything. Cast in Neil Simon's Barefoot in the Park, Redford finally revealed the depth beneath his surface. Night after night, his wit, timing, and vulnerability earned critical acclaim and the liberation he'd long craved. To be seen as more than just a handsome face, Hollywood soon followed. From small parts to leading roles, Redford's star rose steadily, fueled by the sting of early rejection and a fierce desire for independence. This hunger eventually led him behind the camera, determined to control the stories he told. Through the late 60s and 70s, Redford became one of the world's biggest stars, delivering iconic performances in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Sting, All the President's Men, and The Way We Were. Each role could have secured his immortality, yet beneath the applause lay a persistent doubt, the fear that his beauty would overshadow his talent. He confessed, "It can be a gilded cage. You are inside, but no one thinks you belong." Failures like The Great Gatsby stung deeply, reminding him that the Golden Boy label came with merciless expectations. Instead of retreating, he tackled heavier work, proving cinema could confront harsh realities. His toughest test came directing Ordinary People. Industry insiders doubted a handsome leading man could handle the role of director. But Redford's film won the Academy Award for Best Director, an undeniable vindication. Still driven, in 1981, he founded Sundance, now the beating heart of independent film. Robert Redford sacrificed peace, fortune, and companionship, enduring solitude so others could find hope. The world saw his triumphs, but Redford lived the struggle. His legend wasn't born from fame alone, but from wrestling with its shadows and turning pain into enduring art. Behind the Hollywood spotlight was a deeply personal story of love, loss, and resilience. In 1958, at just 22, Redford married Lola Van Wagenen, his partner in refuge through lean early years filled with borrowed furniture and whispered promises. Together they dreamed of a sanctuary no storm could break. But tragedy struck early. Their first son, Scott, lived only weeks. The nursery became a silent tomb, and grief burrowed deep into their souls. Redford later confessed, "You never heal from something like that. You just learn to live around it." That loss shaped a quiet sorrow that lingered in their marriage, even as they tried to hold on. When their son Jamie was born prematurely, hope flickered again, but it was shadowed by constant battles with fragile health. Endless treatments, surgeries, and hospital stays became Jamie's childhood soundtrack. Redford lived a double life, shining in Hollywood by day, gripping Jamie's hand in hospital rooms by night, carrying a storm that never cleared. In 2020, after decades of fighting, Jamie lost his battle with bile duct cancer at 58. For Redford, now frail himself, the blow reopened wounds that never fully healed, echoing the loss of Scott decades before. Two sons, taken in different ways, left a silence that no fame could fill. Through it all, Lola stood steadfast, his quiet shield for nearly 3 decades. Their marriage survived Hollywood's chaos, distance, and public scrutiny, but after 27 years, they parted in 1985, not with scandal, but quiet sorrow. Redford called her the great love of my life, his anchor through darkest days, even as their love couldn't withstand time and ambition. Despite his public triumphs, the end of his marriage was a deep wound. Behind the polished image was a man shaped by loss, the deaths of his sons Scott and Jamie, the strains of grief, and a marriage that couldn't endure life's storms. His strength came from living with contradictions, joy and despair, victory and sorrow. Afterward, Redford moved cautiously through love, seeking connection but wary of pain. Relationships with Sonia Bra, Lena Olin, and Kathy O'Neill brought warmth but no permanence. Jane Fonda noted his guarded heart, a shield born from profound loss. Friends like Natalie Wood and Paul Newman left deep silences in Redford's life, reminders that even legends are mortal. Yet he carried gratitude for their light. In the late 1990s, he found healing with Sybil Sagers, a German-born artist whose gentle presence was like rain on a desert, restorative and unexpected. Together, they created The Way of the Rain, honoring the Earth's fragile beauty and their bond. With Sybil, Redford learned that healing meant carrying scars with grace. As his health waned, his mind stayed clear, anchored by her calm love. He passed quietly in his Sundance home under the vast desert sky, leaving a silence deeper than applause. To his family, Sybil, his children, and grandchildren, his absence is a raw void filled with memories of profound loss. Though the world mourned a titan, his true greatness lay in resilience, integrity, and humanity. Beyond iconic roles, his lasting legacy is Sundance, a sanctuary for artists he nurtured until his last breath. Now, with the curtain fallen, the greatest tribute is remembrance, quiet gratitude, and stories shared across generations. Robert Redford's spirit lives on in every filmmaker he inspired, every story he told, and every heart he touched. His echo endures, vast and unyielding, in the courage he embodied. Please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like and share our videos.